I want to show you how you really decide whom to trust. This is research from Princeton. What they have done, and I'm going to show you the little movie of it, is they say if you move 3 things on a face, eyebrows, cheeks, and chin, you can make a person trustworthy or untrustworthy. And that we decide if someone's trustworthy in about the first 7 seconds of meeting them. Like we make all these other assumptions about people. Are they attractive? Are they someone we want to be with? Are they likable? All of that in the first 7 seconds. So if the inner corners of your eyebrows are high, if your cheekbones are prominent, and if your chin is wide, you look trustworthy instantly. If your inner corners of your eyebrows are low, if your cheekbones are recessed, and if your chin is narrower, we don't trust you. They've also done one other thing in this little clip, and that is they've taken the corners of the mouth from up to down. Neutral, trustworthy, untrustworthy. Yeah, the shading. So that's how quick it is. That's how fast we make a decision about other people. Biases, prejudices, assumptions are also right in our way when we go to find out if someone is trustworthy or if they're telling the truth. They interfere amazingly. If you are working with someone who is attractive, whose eyebrows are in the right place, who is powerful, who is charismatic, or who somehow reminds you of yourself, you tend to focus so much on those attractive qualities that you don't know you're being duped. That's exactly how it works. Here's some more biases that interfere with deception detection. One is that in-group, out-group bias. This is so strong, we create in-groups, out-groups. Everybody that's here is an in-group. Those people that didn't get to hear this lecture, they're an out-group. Of course, let's say see the tape, then maybe they're an in-group. But right now, there's us and there's them. And we us and them all the time. We tend to trust people in an in-group much more than we trust people that are dissimilar or in an out-group. And we do it automatically. In fact, when you look at cross-cultural lie detection, we actually process what's being said by ourselves and what's being said by people from our in-group differently with a different part of the brain than we process things that are being said by people in that out-group. It's a very strong bias. What I call vested interest bias. This is why, we should be the best at knowing if our spouses, if our loved ones, if the people we're dating, if our best friends are liars. And many times we're the worst because we have a vested interest in their telling us the truth. If your boyfriend or girlfriend says, "I love you," we have an interest in having that be true. If our child says, "No, I didn't do that. I wasn't one of those people that got caught doing that. I wasn't even there," we have a vested interest in having that child because we raised that kid. So that kid's got to be pretty good. Anytime you have a vested interest in someone, you are biased toward them being truthful. Appropriate behavior bias is an interesting one, and that is, I know, or I think I do, how I'd act if I were telling the truth. So when I see someone who's acting differently, they got to be lying. You see, it's just like grief. People don't grieve the same. Some people, go into a manic kind of high, and some people go into an incredible depression, and some people are somewhere in between, but we're not the same. It's the same way with lying. It's not totally identical. Plus, we don't really know how we look when we're telling a lie. We just assume we would look a certain way. We do this all the time when we're watching people on television. He must be lying because look at the way he did something. I would never do that. and confirmation bias. This is the most insidious of all. Let me show you how your brain works. I was raised in Palo Alto. When I graduated from Pali High, my first job was a night job. At that time, we had been living on Oregon Avenue, and in our, the wisdom of my entire family and financial deals, we sold that house because we made, I don't know, $3,000 or something. So obviously, that was a great deal. So my parents then moved, and they were living in and managing this condominium complex. Now, this is the kind of condominiums that are all alike in a row. I'm working nights. I come home, it's like 3 in the morning, I'm tired, and I walk up to the condominium, have my key out, and I notice there's a bicycle. And I thought, well, we don't have a bicycle. But, well, okay, my dad also was he did a lot of things, but he also was doing some work with newspapers. Maybe it was for some of the newsboys or somebody had, so he got a bicycle for a prize. I don't know. I walk in, I go, all new furniture. Now, instead of my brain going, wrong, 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 my brain does what every brain does, and that is tries to make sense of something I know is true. I know I'm in my parents' house. Therefore, this furniture can be explained. Okay, they went out and bought it tonight. I mean, I did this entire, it must have, it probably only took a few seconds. It felt like about 5 minutes of trying to rationalize what was going on. I looked over, and the door to the lower bedroom was open. This condominium had 3 bedrooms, 2 were upstairs, 1 was below, and my uncle was staying with us, and I said he would never leave the door open. It was only then that I realized it's 3 in the morning and I'm standing in some stranger's condominium. Now, my parents, being the managers, had the master key. I could have walked into any of them. But that's how brains work. Once you've decided you know the truth, once you've seen those eyebrows go down, so you know that you don't like that person, you don't even know why you don't like that person, or he reminds you of somebody you don't like. Once you've made that decision, then you are going to think and look for all the ways that justify that decision. Aha, I knew I couldn't trust him. And you will find and give much more meaning. If somebody does this and you like them, you know, oh, that's the way she stands. I've seen her do that a lot of times. If someone does this, you don't like them, aha, resistant, I knew it. See, you can't trust that person. We will read into it once we've made up our mind.